Next, let us go with the distributive property. Distributive property of LTI systems. So, what this is a property of system interconnections. Okay. So, what this property says here is x of t convolved with h1 of t plus h2 of t. See here the convolution, there the impulse responses are added together here. So, this is equals to x of t convolved with h1 of t plus x of t convolved with h2 of t. Okay. So, what this property says is instead of having two systems with the two individual responses h1 of t and h2 of t, these two systems can be replaced with a single system whose impulse response is h1 of t plus h2 of t. So, let me write, let us consider there is an input, there is one system whose impulse response is h1 of t, there is another system whose impulse response is h2 of t, and we are giving the same input for the two systems here, and these two systems output is added together. Okay. And when we find situations like this, and this two systems can be replaced with a single system whose impulse response would be like this. Let us consider. So, this is equals to h1 of t plus h2 of t. So, this the output would be the same for both the cases. Okay, that is all about the distributive property. And another property is also its property of systems interconnections, that is associative property. What this associative property says here is, okay, let us see the property first. X of t convolved with h1 of t convolved with h2 of t is equals to x of t convolved with h1 of t, and that is convolved with h2 of t. That is the associative property. What this associative property says is, sir, let us consider there are two systems and one system need to be cascaded with the another system like this. Let us consider there is a system whose impulse response is h1 of t, and this output needs to be transferred to another system which is in cascade, that is h2 of t. So, I am feeding x of t as the input, and I am going to get the output as x of t convolved with h1 of t, and the output of this is x of t convolved with h1 of t, and this is thus that entire output is convolved with h2 of t. And see here, instead of using two systems with the two individual impulse responses as h1 of t and h2 of t, and we can replace these two systems with a single system that is having the impulse response like this. That means h1 of t convolved with h2 of t. Okay. So, that is the greatness of associative property. Rather than using two systems with two individual responses like this, we can replace with a single system with the impulse response as h1 of t convolved with h2 of t. X of t is equals to now x of t convolved with h1 of t convolved with h2 of t. So, this is all about the distributive property and the associative property of LTI systems.